And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in business once again with a showdown between the High Elves, who shall be led by ELTHARION the Grim. And today, my friends, we face off against the dreaded Greenskins, who shall be led by Grom the Paunch and King of the Dead. Now, as far as the build goes, I was feeling a little bit spicy. Obviously, ELTHARION isn't the strongest pick in the High Elf roster, probably one of the weaker ones, to be honest. But he's really, really cool looking. And, you gotta get some style points where you can. As far as his stats go, 54, 44, 450, so he does have some decent stopping power. He can go up against Grom the Paunch or, Black Orc Big Boss or some of those characters and certainly put a dent. But as far as the magic goes, I did go with Apotheosis. Obviously, healing is very good on single entities, including ELTHARION and the Flamespire Phoenix. We do also have Soul Quench. So Soul Quench is kind of a weird one. It's very cheap and it's a decent way to trigger the Shield of Sapphire, and it also can do some decent kind of piercing wind-style damage. So you guys will see it in action over the course of the game. Now for the rest of my build, it is going to be quad Silver and Guard, 3 in the front, 1 in the back in reserve, 2 Sisters of Avalorn to focus down the big targets, and it is also going to be Silver Helms and Reavers. I think just Silver Helms actually defending my back line. So not the true High Elf army, which is kind of using Alariel and all single entities and really prospering with like Dragon Prince, is a little bit different, but I think it certainly has some teeth. Silver and Guard can hold, Sisters can certainly take out a multitude of threats, and I do still have 2 AP single entities, which can do some decent damage against Greenskin characters and monsters and things like that. So for King's build, coming in hot with the Snotling Pump Wagon, Flap is very excited to see these guys in action. They do have a good charge bonus of 80 and can certainly penetrate into the back line and flap all over the face of those Sisters, but we'll see how that goes. He's got 2 of those, some Spider Riders, an Orc Boar Chariot, Grom the Paunch, very much in a Mortan Paunch build here, in the vein of Mad Max. Black Orc Big Boss to give immune to psychology and also, of course, just to be a beast himself. Triple Black Orc, which is very, very scary. Night Goblins and regular Goblins, and that's pretty much it. So a cool build. Up in the hills, of course, King does also have a vanguard of Wolf Riders. So yeah, things are about to get real spicy. So the battle will be underway here in a moment. Spider Riders do come forward, and I do rip a couple shots into them. Not doing too much damage. Sister is able to get in there. And in this matchup, you don't have to worry too much about ammunition conservation with Sisters, because the battle is going to be fast and explosive either way. They will be coming in, and you're going to get that scrap. So we get some okay poking damage. Nothing really. I mean, maybe like 100 damage between the 2 of them, which is a little bit disappointing, but the mainline fight will be underway soon, and as soon as those Black Orcs are in range, we'll be going after him. ELTHARION the Grim is like, hey man, there's some free goblins up here, so let's go ahead and jump on those guys. And now I will be unleashing a salvo here on the Black Orcs using a Soul Quench here, so let's see what kind of damage that does. ELTHARION using some Witchcraft, and I wasn't quite far enough down to get a good cast. I think I needed to be farther away, but it still took out 5 models and did some good HP damage, which is great. So yeah, we got some good deeps there. So here comes the Pump Wagons. Pump Wagons going to be trying to get into my Rangers, which of course is a good target for them, but the Silver Helms are going to be rushing to intercept. King does come in with a Brain Bust as well, able to hit the Sisters, not kill any models, but of course the HP damage does add up over the course of the game. Now ELTHARION the Grim landing amongst the Goblins, and like I said, they were kind of undefended here, so just trying to get some damage where I can. Up to 28 kills, certainly not bad, so the High Elf Karl Franz is going to be having to retreat now as Spider Riders and Grom the Paunch are coming in. Obviously not the best fight for me, but Grom is really getting hammered by those Sisters. He, of course, is weak to fire. He does regenerate, but that damage over time, you can see here, just a couple shots in there, really starting to pepper into the Paunch. And the Spider Rider's also taking some damage, and, I was like, why am I running? I should be turning around and fighting. ELTHARION the Grim can certainly beat Grom the Paunch in, like, one-on-one combat here. And Grom is really, he's getting pounded there. On the far side, we do charge in with our Silver Helms, trying to stop the Spider Riders, Pump Wagons, but I do overstay my welcome a little bit. Obviously, Silver Helms are good against all these things, but just in those numbers, I probably do not want to be there. So Grom the Paunch getting wrecked pretty bad. A very, very good start for the High Elves here, able to pound down that Greenskin Warlord, and now ELTHARION the Grim has pulled back up in the sky, and the Sisters have switched onto Bob, the Black Orc Big Boss, but King is privy to this and is able to dodge. And, Bob is one of the few characters in the game that, when it's mounted, actually does have a silver shield. I actually never noticed that. Most mounted characters do have bronze shields, but that makes him very, very tough to take down, even with archers and anything, really. Bob is just a beast. So right now, I basically know I have to use my single entities to protect my back line. The Pump Wagons and the Boar Boys and all those different units are eventually going to be getting into my back line. And at that point, if my Sisters go, I'm going to be in huge, huge trouble if they start to go down. Because then most of my army is Silver and Guard. Of course, I do have 2 monsters, but Silver and Guard will hold. And you can see they're doing a good job holding against Black Orcs, but they're going to lose that fight. The Wa is active, and of course, I think there's the power of the Big Wa as well. So Ere We Go, Fist of Gork, a ton of things that are very, very impactful. So here the Sisters of Avalorn are shooting downtown, growing into Grom the Paunch, and he's very, very low for sure, but now things are starting to get really messy as the Flappas have gotten to my backline. Another Soul Quench going down from ELTHARION, trying to slow down those Black Orcs, but they're pumping, man. They're pumping all over these Sisters right here, and it's certainly not a good time for those ladies. So at this point, we have to use the Flamespire Phoenix to come in and go after the Pump Wagons. We pull back the Sisters behind the cover of the Rangers. Rangers are very good in this matchup for like cleaning up chaff and things like that, and the Silver and Guard are basically reforming ranks and just trying to form another wall for my Sisters to shoot behind. But There's so many swarming elements in this Greenskin army, but if we can get back and pick off Grom the Paunch, we can most certainly win this. I mean, we have 2 terror-causing monsters. The Wolf Riders here are probably going to be getting hit with the Terror Route, as will the Pump Wagons. And, you know, the Silver and Guard will be a whole other layer of, you know, nonsense that the Greenskins have to get through. As far as what the Greenskins have, they have some Black Orcs here still fighting. They've certainly taken a lot of damage. Most of the Black Orcs are kind of beat up, although these 2 right here are both around half health or above. So Eltharion and the Pigeons certainly need to take that out, but this is the time for me here. If I can take out Grom the Paunch, like I said, I think the game's going to be over, because I don't think there'll be enough to really stop Eltharion from cycle charging and just doing his thing. So now the Rangers are chasing, going after the Orc War Chariots. Not the best play for them, but still just trying to get what damage I can. Sisters are back online, at least one of them, 53 models, so they're 60, so pretty good stopping power. And here we have a nice 2v1. We have the Bird, and we do also have Eltharion the Grim, who are going to be going in after Grom the Paunch. And there's a couple Spider Riders protecting him, so you can see even a couple Spider Riders do keep Eltharion from getting to his prey. So Lucky Banner activated, really good usage there by King. Does actually give him board save against all damage types, and Grom might be able to get away here. We hit him for about 200 damage there with the Flamespire Phoenix. Would have been much more without the Lucky Banner, but I can't quite connect those attacks. And Grom the Paunch is slipping away. And as he slips away, so do the hopes of Eltharion the Grim, because that really needed to happen. I had the 2v1 there, and from there I could have maybe used some good bombardments here on the Black Orcs and different things like that, but it's going to be really tough to come back now. Certainly possible with my 2 monsters, but again, it's really going to require some huge gooning. So the Pump Wagons of King doing a great job getting into the back once again, and my very beleaguered sisters, only 17 of them, are going to be very, very strained. And Eltharion the Grim comes in, as well as the Big Bird, and we are able to get rid of the Pump Wagons. It is a natural break, and we're kind of close to the edge of the map after the fighting, so they should run off. So again, if we look at the Greenskin army, it's looking pretty scary. A lot of Black Orcs, 55 here, 50 here, and it looks like 44 here. So really my stopping power didn't do too well. I was really hoping the sisters would be able to kind of spray through them one at a time. But the issue was, with all the threats he had, like the Pump Wagons and Spider Riders and all these different units, I was really having trouble protecting those ladies. So we have a couple Silver and Guard over here, 46 of course, in decent health. Their martial prowess is now gone, so they're not going to be quite as saucy as they are, generally speaking. And Eltharion the Grim is being hunted by a bunch of haggard boar chariots. You can see the boar tusks digging into the heels here of Eltharion's mount. But he should be able to get back and get behind those Silver and Guard. But Bob is coming, and Bob is here for blood. Gotta watch out for Bob, man. He's always a menace. A couple Silver Helms pushing in, and now's the time. We turn around, we fight, we pop Apotheosis. We have Bob a little bit isolated here, and Grom the Paunch is going to be getting rear charged by the Flamespire Phoenix. Lucky Banner certainly off cooldown, so we charge in. And do we make contact? We miss, unfortunately. So we miss once again. And we were kind of creeping back towards middle there. Could potentially get a big terror out here, and the big Flamespire Phoenix bombardments could be nice. But it looks like Eltharion the Grim is actually losing in combat against the Black Orc Big Boss. Bob is really scary. 55, 55, 390, and honestly, it's not that different from Eltharion, really. And here comes the bombardment runs. Going to be dropping some hot loads here on the Black Orcs, and able to wear those guys down, but that is going to be army losses. And well played to King. It was a great game. I really just think Eltharion just doesn't do enough. He doesn't hit hard enough, and you know his magic is pretty subpar against Greenskins, I suppose. Apotheosis and Soul Quench are good. Maybe if he was on a different roster, but he just can't hang, man. I feel like Eltharion needs some decent changes. Granted, you know, King did a great job just getting into my back line and getting into the archer. So I mean, Eltharion wasn't the sole cause for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky thing. Part of me thinks that going like monsters and or like more of a kite build against Greenskins could be better. But yeah, I mean, I like the build. It was decent. Silver and Guard held. Sisters got some good focus fire. We almost got Grom the Paunch very early, but you can't like bank your competitive games on trying to take out a lord, right? Like, yeah, it can work sometimes, but if you fail, like, and if you're playing against competent players, it's gonna fail more often than not, unless you really go all in with like nets and your whole build is built around it. But in this case, it was a little bit tricky. But yeah, I like the build. It was fun. But I have some other ideas about the matchup. I'm trying to get better at High Elves. Obviously, Eltharion isn't the direction you want to go if you're playing competitive play, but still. You know, he can kill the characters, and Soul Quench and things like that can do some damage. And well played to King, man. His build was good. The triple Black Orc is a decent actually counterpiece against the tech here of the Silver and Guard, right? Because Silver and Guard can hold anything. Like, but Black Orcs have enough AP and melee attack to actually get through their armor, which is really, really nice. So the Black Orcs caught me off guard a little bit, and the Pump Wagons were great, man. It was a great build and great execution by King. Anyways, my friends, let us go ahead and take a look at a build and just kind of theory craft a little bit about what we could possibly do. I mean, obviously, all right, so there's the proven style of High Elf play, which we'll go ahead and pull up here in just a second against Greenskins. So obviously against Black Orcs, I think you'd probably want to go, I don't know if you need Flying Elariel here. You probably just go for this, right? So you get Earthblood, and False Protection could be okay here. Banishment, Shield of Thorns is a good spell as well. The physical resist and base weapon damage isn't bad. You don't really need Tempest, I don't think. Arcane and Forging, not so good anymore. So honestly, probably just those spells. And then from here, you can get the Star of Avalorn And that does give you the recharge, probably not bad. So I think double Noble and Chariot is super strong. They can fight Grom, they can kill the Blackworks by themselves, like solo. Very, very straightforward there. So I think going with double Noble on Chariot is really, really strong. So now to make sure we're in tournament rules, ELTHARION isn't on a big beastie, so I can still have another single entity. Any number of the dragons are probably okay. The Arcane Phoenix is also a huge pain to deal with. Yeah, the Arcane Phoenix could actually be good. Something to think about for sure. I do like Dragon Princes here in this matchup too. They're really, really good at hammering down like the elite. Do I want to get Fireborn though? I mean, Footed Gork is a risk for sure, but Fireborn are just so good against so many things on the Greenskin roster. All right, so from here, we probably get a couple, let's see. We could get some like Reaver Cav, like Reaver Archer Cav, just to like harass and control the battlefield, running around with Dragon Princes. I don't play too much High Elves, but I know the basics. I've casted enough tournament games. Do we want a Sun Dragon? I mean, the breath attacks are quite nice, especially against the Blackworks. And like, I don't think going an expensive dragon is super necessary. And plus, he does fire damage too. I mean, I suppose they all do, but that gives you a little bit of extra gooning against Grom. So now you're at your single entity cap as far as because the 2 chariots count. So does the Sun Dragon. ELTHARION and Horseback should be free from that. From here, do you want to go with like Spearmen and stuff? Probably, honestly, a couple Spearmen is fine. A couple Rangers. Although part of me is like, just get a little bit of Kite going. You could even get like some Shadow Warriors and things like that, and really just get real nasty with this. Probably like 3 Spearmen is enough. I don't think you're going to need too much more. Rangers are cool, but you have the Dragon Princes to kill chaff. Like, Dragon Princes with good micro should be able to kill most Greenskin infantry. The Blackworks are countered by the Nobles and Breath Attacks from the Sun Dragon, so you basically just concentrate the Nobles on Blackworks and Breath Attack them down. And of course, the healing is going to be super impactful. Aside from this, I mean, some Reaver Cav could be good. I mean, you could get a couple of these. I think that could be nice. Is there any way we could afford a little bit more? The Boon of Isha gives you Immune to Psych and magic resist, or magical damage, which I don't know is super pertinent. I suppose it is. And Life Bloom is okay. Shield of Sapphire is quite good. I'm trying to just get a little bit more out of this build here. And you know, we're not like super mana intensive, so maybe we can just go for like those two. Because it's her Star of Avalorn that does like all the breadwinning, really. And then we have 600 Gs. So from here, we have a couple options. I don't think getting any stationary units is necessary. I think, yeah, something like this. This is like more like what you'd see in like probably like tournaments, right? Like a lot of single entities, a lot of mobility. You kill all the Greenskin mobility, then you just breath attack and cycle charge them into oblivion with the Nobles while maintaining your attacking rule using the Reaver Archers. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Certainly a very fun match, and we'll be back with more content soon. Give this build a try, guys. Let me know how it goes, and until then, we'll see you next time. Cheers.